Feed Your Family Tonight podcast. Each week, we are serving up motivation and inspiration to help you get weeknight dinner on the table, letting you recapture a little calm in the crazy. And now, your host, speaker, author, and married mother of four, Mariefiebach.
Hello, friends. Welcome to the Feed Your Family Tonight podcast, episode 120. I'm your host, Mariefiebach, and today we're going to talk a little bit about shopping grocery sales. Now, I have a lot to say about shopping grocery sales. I was raised by Mary Sheldon, who is the queen of grocery sales. Mary Sheldon is actually the queen of shopping sales in general. She really gets a little bit of a jolt from getting a good bargain, and that can be really good. And sometimes there's a few pitfalls with that, and I'm going to talk about those a little later in the podcast, so listen for that towards the end. I got the idea for this podcast from my friend Sandy. I had put out a thing on Instagram looking for podcast suggestions, and she said she wanted to hear about how to shop grocery sales. Well, I'm all in for that because grocery sales can really help your grocery budget, or they can drive you bonkers. And I'm here to kind of help you navigate the waters of grocery sales. In my experience, there are three kinds of people when it comes to grocery sales. The first person is someone who has their list and they buy whatever's on their list. And if it happens to be on sale, well, that's just a little bonus. But they don't really pay attention to the sales when they make their meal plans and when they go grocery shopping. The second person is the complete opposite of that, where they plan all of their meals around the foods that are on sale. They go to multiple grocery stores a week to get the best price on every single item, and they are very in tune with what is happening with their budget, very in tune with what regular prices of items are, and what a good sale really is. My mother was pretty close to a number two. The third type of person is kind of where I'm at, and that is where I have a really good idea of what the going price for the regular items that I buy are. I know what a good sale is. I know what a great sale is. And I will sometimes go to two different grocery stores, but I'm not tracking down the best price on every item in my grocery cart. So as we talk today about sales, I want you to think about what kind of person you are with grocery sales and where you fit in this, where shopping grocery sales makes sense for you and where it doesn't. Because the first thing that I want you to know about grocery shopping is that you need to come up with your own personal grocery sale strategy. And your personal grocery sales strategy has a lot to do with the season of life that you are in. There was a time in my life where I had 4 kids ages 5 and under. I was nursing twins, and I pretty much only left the house to go grocery shopping and take my kids to school, and that was about it. To go to multiple grocery stores to get the best price on everything was something that just wasn't feasible in that season of life. Then there have been other times in my life where I was a complete stay-at-home mom, and my kids were all in school, and my quote-unquote job was to monitor the family budget and to maximize the family budget as much as possible. I had the time, I had the energy, and I had the motivation to carefully look at the grocery store sales, shop those sales, even if it meant going to 3 or 4 grocery stores a week. So what are your current grocery priorities? Is having the absolute tightest budget what's most important for you in this season of your life? Or is having a lot of convenience and kind of having it all work out in the wash, so to speak, more important right now? Neither are good or bad. They are just important to you at this time in your life. Before we kind of start getting deep into talking about grocery sales, I really want you to think about what is most important to you when it comes to your grocery budget, when it comes to convenience, and when it comes to finding every item in your cart at the best price possible. When you start looking at how you are going to approach grocery sales, you want to get to know the stores in your area. I have said many times, I have 9 grocery stores within 5 minutes of my house. So I have a lot of choices when it comes to grocery stores. And the first thing that I need to do is I need to eliminate some of those choices, because there is no way that I'm going to pay attention to the sales of 9 different stores. It's too much for anybody. Even if you're on a super tight budget, you can probably eliminate a couple of stores in your area. Maybe you shop them once a month or once or twice a year to get a couple of specialty items, but you need to narrow down your choices to at least 3 or 4 stores, maybe 5 tops. I don't pay attention to what's happening at Whole Foods. I don't pay attention to what's happening at Costco, and I don't pay attention to what's happening at Trader Joe's. But I do personally pay attention to what's happening at Sprouts, what's happening at Dillon's, which is my form of Kroger, and what is happening at Aldi. So I kind of have 3 stores that I kind of pay attention to. That is the first step of shopping grocery sales, is you need to choose what stores you're going to pay attention to and start looking at what are their prices on your base ingredients. I talked in episode 115 about base ingredients and how they are so important to being able to make adaptations to your meals. If you have a pantry full of base ingredients, those are the items that you want to pay attention to the regular prices of. My sister at one point paid attention to prices so carefully that she had this giant Excel spreadsheet of every item she purchases on a regular basis. So she had, well over 100 items, what the regular price was at all of the stores that she shops at, so that she could recognize if a sale was worth it. Because that's what you need to think about, is just because something is quote unquote on sale does not mean that it is the best price. There are stores like Aldi and Walmart that have kind of an everyday low price strategy, and then they have sale items on top of kind of their everyday low price items. There are other stores like Sprouts that I go to that have extreme loss leaders, where they have a few items that are very, very inexpensive, but the rest of the items in their stores are a little bit higher in price. And so they make up the difference of losing money on some items by charging just a little bit more on all of the other items in the store. I have found that Kroger to be kind of somewhere in the middle. Their prices aren't the lowest on everyday items. They're not the highest on everyday items. Their sales are good on some items and are ho-hum okay on other items. But you need to get to know the items that you are buying on a regular basis, and you need to know about what they cost at the stores that you are choosing to frequent. Once you kind of know the prices of the base items that you are purchasing regularly, it will help you recognize when a sale is really good, or recognize when a sale is maybe not even a sale. You could get that exact item at a different store that you frequent for less than the cost of the sale price at another store. I kind of like to take and narrow that down a little bit more, and my focus for sale items is meat and produce. And a big reason why those are the things that I focus on when I look at grocery sales is because I do that deep dive grocery shopping about once a quarter. I talked about that in episode 99. If you want to go back and listen to how I do a deep dive grocery shopping trip and why I do a deep dive grocery shopping trip, I stock my pantry full of those base ingredients of things that I use for lots of different recipes, so that I'm not having to purchase those on a weekly basis. And the main items that I'm buying at my grocery store are meat and produce. When I can kind of take some of those extra decisions out because I've made them earlier, then when I start focusing on the meat and produce, I start seeing what grocery stores have the best price on the items that I buy regularly. It doesn't really matter if they have a really good price on lamb shanks, because my family doesn't really eat lamb shanks, so I don't care if there's a great price on lamb shanks. I'm looking for what is their price on boneless, skinless chicken breast, boneless, skinless chicken thighs. What is their price on bacon? What is their price on ground turkey? I get most of my beef and roast from my local farmer, so I'm not really looking at those prices too often. But every once in a while I will, and I will compare that to what I have purchased from my local farmer. It's always a little bit more expensive from my local farmer, but I know that I'm getting the highest quality meat that is organic and grass-fed, which is important to my family at this time. So when you narrow it down to the sales on meat and produce, you want to know a little bit about how grocery store sales work. Many items that are on the front page of a grocery ad, and you can access these online. You can get them in your local newspaper. You can often pick them up inside the grocery store. But when you look at the front page of the grocery ad, those are often filled with what is called loss leaders. Those are items that are often priced at cost or sometimes even below cost, designed to get you in the store so that you purchase the rest of your items in that store because you're already there. It's that concept of maybe the other items are a little bit more expensive and they're making a little bit more profit on those items so they can afford to sell you apples for 50 cents a pound or whatever the item happens to be. But loss leaders are a great way to start planning your meals around because the loss leaders are often on meat and produce, which are the things that you're going to be purchasing most frequently. The key to making the most out of loss leaders is to be flexible in what you are making. If you know that you are wanting to make a specific dish and it requires a specific cut of meat and you put it on your meal plan, you probably won't be able to shop the grocery sales. But when you are making your meal plans, I often look at what is on sale that week before I choose to make my meal plans. So I was planning on making chili, and I see that they don't have ground beef on sale, but they do have chuck roast on sale at a really good price. So I adjust my meal plan from making chili to making beef stew. Very similar base ingredients with slight different flavors, and I'm changing the meat from a ground meat product to a roast product that I can chop into 1-inch chunks and make. If you are flexible and plan your meals around the loss leaders, you will maximize your use of the grocery sales. The other thing is to pay attention to the sales cycle of your grocery store. Years ago, there was a grocery store in our town, and every other Tuesday, one Tuesday they had ground beef for $2.99 a pound. The next Tuesday they had boneless, skinless chicken breast for $2.99 a pound. And you could almost predict it, except for like right around Thanksgiving or right around Christmas. Every other Tuesday they would alternate. Well, there's a lot of opportunity there if you get to know the rhythm of the sales cycle. One of the grocery stores that I frequent right now will usually have chicken on sale one week and beef on sale the next week. And so I can kind of predict what is going to be on sale. The other thing is I can plan my grocery trips. We talked about avoiding multiple grocery trips in episode 119 last week. I usually go to the grocery store twice a week. That is what I plan for. So I will often plan to buy one protein that's on sale at the beginning of the week because most grocery ads change on Wednesdays. So I can buy something on Monday, Tuesday that is on sale the previous week. And then I go to the store on Thursday or Friday and I get something that's on sale in the next week. So I can usually get a variety of proteins by shopping twice a week and getting what's on the two different sales. Next week, I'm going to have a whole episode on freezing meat, kind of like if you buy meat on sale, how to freeze it and use it for later. So listen for that next week. But I will often buy extra of a meat that is on sale, especially if it's at a really good price. And then I will freeze it. And next week's episode is going to talk to you all about how to freeze it, how to thaw it, how to use it, food safety, the whole thing. So you can get all that next week. But if you find a particular cut of meat that is a really good price and you know that your family will eat it, buy extra if your budget allows and freeze it so that you can have that meat ready to go and at a better price. When we start talking about produce, I have a list of must-haves that we have to have in our house all the time. And then I have produce that's a little bit more flexible. Let me kind of give you an example. Our family eats a salad every night before dinner. So having lettuce, carrots, and celery is non-negotiable in my house. I have to have those in my refrigerator all the time. But the kind of lettuce that I have is a little bit flexible. My family prefers romaine, but if I serve them leaf lettuce, or if I serve them butter lettuce, or if I serve them mixed greens, it doesn't matter that much. So there's some flexibility there, and I can look for sales on different types of lettuce product that will keep my budget down. Another example is what I make for some of the vegetable side dishes. I can easily serve asparagus or broccoli with most of the meals that I make. Asparagus is in season in the late spring. Broccoli is in season most of the year. I don't want to be buying expensive asparagus in December and January, but I will buy inexpensive asparagus in March and April when it comes in season. Buying in season will save you money, and the grocery stores will advertise the produce that's in season because it's less expensive and easier for them to get. So think about buying seasonal vegetables because they will be less expensive and will usually be on sale. Now, another big piece of produce is I always have an entire drawer in my refrigerator dedicated to fresh fruit. I usually like to have apples around. I usually like to have something besides apples around. Apples are pretty inexpensive to get year round. In the fall, they're usually the freshest and they're usually the least expensive. And that's where I can get several different varieties of apples at much lower prices. But I also get clementines and oranges and nectarines and pears and grapefruit. And whatever other produce, I go with what's on sale. So if grapes are on sale this week, I will buy extra grapes. If oranges or cuties are on sale this week, I will buy extra oranges or cuties. Most of these fruits, grapes not so much, but apples, oranges, grapefruit, pears will last more than 2 weeks in your refrigerator. So I can have a lot of variety in my produce bin without having to buy items that aren't on sale. 1 week, I'll buy a little extra apples. The next week, I'll buy a little extra oranges. I have apples and oranges in my refrigerator at all times. So think about how long the produce will last in your refrigerator and then rotate what you buy according to what is on sale. I want to talk about a few items that come on sale once or twice a year and why you may want to stock up on a few of these items. The best example I can have of this is around Thanksgiving. There are often lots of sales on turkeys and turkey breasts. Our family loves to have a turkey breast in the middle of March. It's a yummy family dinner, but if I buy it around Thanksgiving, I'm going to get it for 99 cents a pound. Whereas if I tried to go and buy it in March, it's going to be $2 to $2.25 a pound for a turkey breast. So I might buy a couple extra turkey breasts when everybody else is buying their Thanksgiving turkeys around Thanksgiving time. Butter often goes on sale around Thanksgiving time, and butter freezes really well. So if you have the freezer space, you may want to stock up on a few extra pounds of butter when they come on really, really good sale around Thanksgiving time. Baking goods like flour and sugar often come on sale around Thanksgiving time, as do things like stuffing mix. Stuffing mix sometimes is even a little bit hard to find in the middle of the spring or even in the summer. If you have a recipe that uses stuffing mix, you may want to stock up on a little bit of stuffing mix around Thanksgiving time. Back to school, you'll often see sales on boxed cereal and granola bars, things to get quick breakfasts on the table, or things that go into lunch boxes. You may want to stock up on those things when they come on sale in the early fall around back to school. But I want to give you a few red flags to watch out for as well. My mother, I've said, loves a good bargain. And my father would always tell her, you can't spend yourself rich, Mary. And what he meant by that was if something is on sale, you don't want to buy it unless you're really going to use it or you really need it. So again, like I said, if lamb shanks are on sale, it doesn't matter if they're the best price ever. If my family's not going to eat it and I'm not going to use it, then there is no use in me buying it just because it's a good bargain. Another kind of red flag to watch out for is sometimes you'll see sales where it's buy one, get one free. Some grocery stores mean that you can get one item for 50% off. And in some stores, you have to get two of those items. And it literally is buy the first one and you get the second one free. You've got to be careful with mix and match on those things as well. Vitamins are a good example. The store that I sometimes buy vitamins at, they are all buy one, get one free. And if I buy a thing of multivitamins and a thing of vitamin C, and there's a $5 difference between the two, I am getting the lesser price free. So I tend to buy 2 multivitamins and 2 vitamin C's. So I'm getting them both at the maximum savings. You want to read the fine print on those buy one, get one free sales to see how they work in your particular store. Another kind of pitfall that you'll see in grocery stores is buy 5, get $5 off, or buy 10, get $10 off. When you are having to buy 5 of an item or buy 10 of an item, some stores will let you mix and match, and you might be able to have your 5 items include cream cheese, cottage cheese, dish soap, and some crackers or whatever. And some you have to buy 5 of the exact item. Again, if you're not going to use 5 of that item and you can't supplement with some of your other items, it's probably not worth the savings that you will get. One of my tricks for doing those buy 5, get 5 free is I always like to look at items that are kind of staples in my house. They might have dish soap, and I could buy a couple of extra things of dish soap to get to my 5 items. Something that is shelf stable, something that isn't even food that I can use to kind of fill out that I definitely will use is one of my techniques for using that buy 5, get $5 off. But if your budget's really tight, it might not be wise for you to even stock up on those extra items, on those buy 5, get $5 off. You might be better off just buying the one item that you need. So I hope today I gave you some insights on how to shop grocery sales. Next week, I'm going to have a whole episode on freezing meat because that is one of the biggest ways that you can save on your grocery budget is buying meat that's on sale. There's a few other benefits of buying meat and freezing it as well. So we'll talk about that next week. For now, friends, I want to hear in the Feed Your Family Tonight Facebook group what you think about grocery sales. Are you a person who doesn't really pay attention, a person who pays attention to the price of every item, or somewhere in between? Hope you're doing well. Take care.
Thanks for listening to Feed Your Family Tonight podcast with your host, Mariefiebach. If you like the show and want to know more, please visit feedyourfamilytonight.com. And if you'd like to help support the show, please leave a rating or review on iTunes or Apple Podcast. It helps spread the word that you can feed your family tonight.